I'm 84 years old. 6 years ago, I stepped off my back porch, and 2 seconds later, my life was over. Not my actual life, but the life where I did things for myself. That was gone. And here's the thing. I had 5 chances to stop it from happening. 5. I ignored all of them. And number 5 is the reason most people in their 60s and 70s end up exactly where I ended up. You're probably doing it right now. 3 days after my fall, a blood clot almost finished what the concrete started. I woke up in a hospital room with a tube in my arm, and my daughter sitting in the corner trying not to cry. They said I was lucky. Lucky? I couldn't sit up without help, and they called it luck. Then came the rehab place. 6 weeks. You shuffle down a hallway in a robe. You do exercises that feel like nothing, and they tell you you're making progress. You share a hallway with people who can't remember their own names. And you think, how did I get here? When I finally came home, my daughter had moved in. She didn't ask, she just came. There was a shower chair in my bathroom, grab bars on the walls, a rubber mat in the kitchen. I walked out of my house one woman and came back another. My whole life changed into something I never thought about. I haven't driven a car since that morning. My daughter drives me everywhere now. I used to go to the grocery store 3 times a week because I liked picking my own tomatoes. Now I eat whatever she brings home. I used to host Sunday dinners for my whole family. Now I sit at the table while someone else cooks in my own kitchen. I used to walk my road in the evenings. Now I don't go past the bird feeder. 2 seconds on a frozen step, and every single part of my life changed. But you need to understand who I was before that morning. My name is Ruth. I worked the counter at the post office in Spokane, Washington for 31 years, on my feet every day, knew everybody's name. My husband died when I was 61. After that, I ran my house alone for 17 years. Nobody helped me. Nobody needed to. Everyone called me the strong one. Ruth, you're so strong. And I believed it. That's exactly why I didn't see it coming. I was so busy being strong that I couldn't hear my own body trying to warn me. So let me tell you about the 5 things I ignored. And I need you to really listen, because at least one of these is sitting in your life right now. The first one. Somewhere around 74, 75, I started grabbing things to stand up. The kitchen counter, the arm of my chair, the edge of the bathroom sink. I didn't think about it, it just started happening. And then I noticed I was taking the side ramp at church instead of the stairs. Told myself it was just easier. But easier was my body's way of saying my legs weren't holding me the way they used to. I didn't tell my doctor. I didn't tell anyone, because it didn't feel like a problem. It felt like a small change. But small changes are how your body sends you a message, and I wasn't listening. The second one, this one embarrasses me a little because it's so obvious looking back. My eyes were changing. I'd had the same glasses for about 3 years. My prescription needed updating, but I kept putting off the appointment. You know how bifocals work? When you look straight ahead, you see fine. But when you look down, like it steps, the bottom part of the lens blurs the edges. You think you see where the step ends. You don't. That morning, January 5th, 10 to 7, I was looking down at my porch steps through 3-year-old bifocals in bad light. I could see the steps. I couldn't see the ice on the steps. There's a difference. And I never once thought about that difference until I was already on the ground. The third one. This one still gets me. 2 months before I fell, my son-in-law offered to put a railing on my back porch. He'd already bought the hardware, had it in his truck, and I said no. I said, I've been using those steps for 22 years. I don't need a railing. You know why I really said no? Because a railing meant something. It meant I was old. It meant I needed help. And I wasn't ready to be that person, so I said no. And 2 months later, I was on the concrete. He still has that hardware in his garage. Never returned it. I think about that sometimes. Now I'm going to stop here for a second, because you're doing one of these right now. You know which one, and the next 2 I'm about to tell you, those are the ones that actually put me on the concrete. The fourth one. Every morning I did the same thing. Slippers on, coffee started, back door open, steps down, bird seed in the feeder. I could do it with my eyes closed. And that's basically what I was doing. I wasn't paying attention anymore. I wasn't checking anything. I wasn't looking at the steps. I wasn't thinking about the weather. I was on autopilot. And autopilot is where falls live. Because the one morning something is different. A patch of ice, a wet leaf, a shoe that slips. Your body isn't ready. Your brain checked out 5 minutes ago. You're doing the same thing you did yesterday, but today the ground is different, and you don't find out until you're already falling. It's never the big things that get you. It's the thing you do every single morning without thinking. The fifth one. This is the one I said would bother you. I never told anyone I felt unsteady, not once. Not my daughter, not my doctor, not my neighbor Gail, nobody. There were mornings I grabbed the kitchen counter and just stood there for a second. There were times I felt a little off going down the steps, and I slowed down, but I didn't say anything, because admitting it felt like giving something up. Like if I said it out loud, it became real. And if it was real, then I was old. And if I was old, then the life I had built, the one where I did everything myself, that life was over. So I stayed quiet. And here's what that silence cost me. If I had told my daughter I'd been feeling unsteady, she would have called me that morning. If I had told my neighbor Gail, Gail would have checked on me before 7. I wouldn't have been on that concrete for 40 minutes. The fall might still have happened. But the silence is the reason I was alone when it did. That's not strength. That's stubbornness, pretending to be brave. And it wasn't just me. Let me tell you about the women I met in that rehab place. I got to know a few of them over those 6 weeks. One woman, 81 years old. She'd been a nurse for 30 years, knew more about health than most people ever will, fell in her own bathroom, a bathroom she'd walked through 10,000 times. Another woman, 76, tripped on a rug in her living room. A rug. She'd stepped over it every single day. I looked at those women and I looked at myself and I thought, none of us expected to be here. Every single one of us thought we were fine. Strong women, capable women, women who did everything for themselves. And every one of us was in that hallway in a robe, shuffling. You know how many people over 65 end up in the hospital because of a fall every year? Millions. It's the number one reason older people lose their independence. Not cancer, not heart disease, a fall. One bad step, one wet floor, one moment you weren't paying attention. That's all it takes. Now listen, being strong is not enough. You hear me? Just living your life and being strong is not enough. You have to be smart too. You have to prepare your body on purpose. Do the exercises. Strengthen your legs. Work on your balance. Fix the steps. Get the railing. Wear the right shoes. Update your glasses. Tell someone when something feels off. Not because you're falling apart, because you're building yourself up so the fall never comes. Strength without preparation is just a body waiting for the wrong moment. I still go out to that bird feeder every morning. Every single morning. I hold the railing with both hands. I count the steps out loud. I check the concrete with my shoe before I put my weight down. The birds don't know what it costs me to get out there, but I know. And there are warning signs I haven't even mentioned. Things specific to your body, your house, your routine. I can't name those for you. Only you know what they are. And if you're honest with yourself, you already know. You've just been ignoring them the way I did. You know what I think about every morning when I'm out there counting my steps? I think about that woman, the one who lay on the concrete while the birds ate around her. She thought she was the strongest person she knew. She was, and it almost killed her. My son-in-law, he still had that railing hardware in his garage, never returned it. Last month, I finally told him to come put it up. Should have said yes 6 years ago. Go fix the step. Say yes to the railing. Tell someone you're unsteady. Do it today, not because you're weak, because you're smart enough to still have the chance. Don't wait for the fall. The fall doesn't wait for you.